窓から覗き込んだ下界を駆け抜ける勇者よ何が好きか嫌いか互いの情入念
Alright, welcome back, y'all, to another Degen episode. And yep, it's just me this week. I think this is like the second time I've done a solo episode on this podcast. Maybe. Might be the first time. I'm pretty sure I've done one before, though. But usually I try to get like a guest on to talk about, seasonals and stuff with me. But I couldn't this time because I didn't have internet. So GG's to that. No internet means no Discord calls unless I do it on my cell phone, and you already know I ain't trying to do that. But the good thing is I can still use OBS without the internet, so I can still record myself, without the internet. I just hope it comes back before Wednesday or whatever, so I can upload on time or whatever. So shout out to the weather for making me do a solo mid-season check-in episode. And by the way, just let y'all know, I'm sick as hell right now. I got the man cold or whatever you want to call it. I'm just all congested and shit. So, bear with me. But I believe, the power of anime and the power of friendship is going to get me through this episode for sure. Because I want to talk about these animes because I'm watching a lot. So today, as you know, like I said, I'm going to be talking about 2025 spring anime season. Because we're at the halfway mark now. Most shows are like 6, 7. Some shows are 8 episodes in. So I want to talk about what I've been watching. I've been watching a lot. I tried to keep it pretty spoiler free. There might be some small slight spoilers here and there. But I try to stay away from like major stuff. Timestamps will be in the description like usual. Use them if you want to. I'm just give a summary and of the show, talk about what I enjoy about them, and give it like a mid-season rating. First, I just want to say like this spring season, it's honestly really good. It's probably one of the best anime seasons I've watched since I've become a seasonal anime watcher years ago. Like it's really good. I think I'm watching like at least 18 shows. It might be a little bit more than 18 shows. I've dropped a couple and out of like those 18 plus shows, I think maybe 12, maybe 13 are like an 8 or higher right now. That's insane, like it's a lot of shows at 8s, 9s, and 10s, so y'all already know I like slice of life. I love my slice of lives. I love my dramas. I love my romance animes. And this season, I'm telling y'all, it has so many quality shows. So with that being said, let's get into it. So today I'm going to be talking about mostly the new shows that I've been enjoying, and I'll probably try to touch on some of the sequels at the end if I don't yap too much about the new shows. The first show I want to talk about is Shirley. We got 7 episodes out right now. I'm caught up. This is on Crunchyroll. I'll read like a little summary for each show, and then I'll go into my general thoughts on what's going on. So this is a new adaptation of Anne of Green Gables, if y'all are familiar with it. On the beautiful Prince Edward Island in Canada, an orphan named Anne Shirley is mistakenly sent to Green Gables, the home of Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert. They choose to adopt her anyways, as Anne finds new friendship, love, and happiness in her new home. So come along for the story of a pure-hearted and imaginative girl growing up, leaving for college and returning home a changed woman. And so, first things first, I love the show. I think it was made for me. I truly do. Like, you got a really fun main character who has a big imagination, just like the summary said. And it's basically like her journey of growing up. after having a rough childhood, I guess, in the orphanage. But each week we get like a new lesson. Like she's learning a different lesson, a life lesson, like every week. It seems like, and when she's not learning, she's like messing around, like up, doing her shenanigans with her bosom buddy Diana, which is pretty cool. I really love their dynamic. I like the way they became friends, their journey to become friends, and how they've stuck it out. And she's really headstrong and stubborn about being friends with her forever, which is really really cool, really cute. But last few weeks it's been doing some pretty good time skips too. So just like the summary said, I guess we're gonna get to see her whole journey, her whole life journey, I assume, because it says in the summary, growing up, leaving for college, returning home, a changed woman. I think right now, she's like 14 years old. I think it really hasn't been jarring. I think they've done a really good job with it so far. Um, and this is kind of like nostalgic for me too. I'm sure it is for like a lot of people that's watched and Shirley and Anne of Green Gables when he was a kid. Like I watched like the cartoon versions of it, and I watched like the, I guess, live action or whatever of it too. Like I've watched both of them, which has been a long time ago. I don't really remember a whole lot of them, but I still remember it, and I'm glad this is getting treated well. Like I had my doubts about it because like the studio is the same studio that gave us Tower of God season 2, and y'all probably know my thoughts on that. We done it on the rundown. It wasn't good. I didn't care for the new animation style, but they're doing a pretty good job with Anne Shirley, and I'll give it to them. So uh, I hope they keep it up. This is going to be 2 hours, I believe. I think I'm gonna give as of right now, I'm gonna give my current scores as I'm going down this list too, to kind of put in perspective of how much I'm liking things and where they stand on the overall thing. So this one's gonna be, as of right now, mid season. It's gonna be 9 out of 10 for me. Like I said, this is one of my top shows of the spring. I definitely recommend this for any slice of life fans. If you're anything like me, you're gonna love this show. Like it's just so good. And like I said, we got 2 cowers. So one thing I'm curious about, since we're already on age 14 or so, um, what age? I wonder what age they're gonna stop. Like what age they're gonna slow down and focus on, because they have to slow down at some point and stop skipping ahead so much at some point. And I wonder what age is that gonna be. And we're also seeing we're also seeing potentially some romance cooking up too. Y'all know me, I love romance, but like I really hope that they lean more into that. All right, that's it for Anne Shirley. Make sure y'all go check that out. Like I said, it's really good. I have a feeling like a lot of people would like that. And it's just so fun to watch. The second show that we're going to be talking about today is Kowloon Generic Romance. And this is going to be on Crunchyroll too. I think there's 7 episodes out right now. I'll just read a quick summary as well. Welcome to Kowloon Walled City, a dystopian townscape where the people are brimming with nostalgia and where the past, present, and future converge. Amid the hidden emotions and extraordinary daily lives of the men and women working in its confines, a tale of romance begins to unfold for real estate agent Reiko, one that feels as familiar as Kowloon itself. This is a very interesting show, um, because like it's pretty heavy sci-fi, but it's also romance too. It's a pretty interesting combo, in my opinion. And the thing that kind of worries me, um, is they say they're gonna complete they're gonna tell the complete story in just one cower. Plus they said that the live action that they got going on, it like ties into the story. Like it's gonna like work together as like a companion piece or something. I'm not sure. It's really weird how they're doing this. Like you, as a fan of like this manga, you would hope that they would have done the adaptation better, I guess, treated it better, and instead of trying to like get it all out there. So I wonder like why they're trying to get it all in all, in one cower or whatever. Like it's kind of crazy. So with that being said, I'm watching this kind of with open mind. I have every intention to like check out the manga after this is over, no matter what, because like I have to know, I have to see what was cut, because if they're gonna like fit it all into one cower, then they have to cut things, and they have to like have an anime ending, I guess you could say, if they're truly gonna finish this story, because the manga isn't done yet. So I'm definitely gonna check it out. Um, I ain't gonna lie, like being anime only for this, it's sort of confusing. And it's probably just because like of the pacing, like it's hard to do a sci-fi, like a heavy sci-fi like this, if you're cutting out some of the information that you kind of need, and I feel like that's what's happening. So, but I don't mind. Like, um, the thing is like I know how to tell like Reiko A and B apart. Um, it's easy to do, but it's harder to like differentiate the other people that are in this story. Like, um, what's a flashback? What's a are they the different people? Like, where we're at and stuff like that. It's harder to tell that kind of stuff though. Um, but even with how they're doing this, it's still pretty interesting to me. And if y'all know me, like I don't really care for sci-fi. For a majority of the times, I don't care for sci-fi at all. Only a select few sci-fi shows they interest me, and this is one of them. And I guess it kind of helps that Reiko, she's very attractive. I just want to say that much. Uh, but not only her, like I like the other characters too. Like they're all pretty unique, and they're pretty fun to watch. And like just the premise of like nostalgia, Kowloon, the city itself, and just like the generic copies of everything, it all makes it kind of interesting. And I'm just curious to what it's trying to show us. Like it's really heating up now, so it's gonna be pretty interesting to see just how where it takes us, and it's also gonna be interesting to see like how the manga is different from the anime. So I guess right now I'll just go ahead and get to the ratings. Um, as of right now, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. And you might say that that's too high. That might be too high, and it might be. It just depends on like how they handle the last half, I guess, and how they like finish it up. Because that's usually where it tends to fall apart more in a situation like this. So I think that I don't think I could like I don't think it's gonna go up any. I think if anything it might go down. But like I said, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm enjoying what I've seen of it so far, even though it is a little confusing. Um, but at least I knew about the way that they was doing this, trying to fit it all in one cower before I went in watching it, because I got more of an open mind, and I'm gonna go check out the manga afterwards. So you know, it is what it is. I just like romance, so uh, and I also want to check out that live action too. I want to see how it like adds to the story or whatever that they're trying to say. So guess we'll see. If I'm enjoying this, I know I'm gonna love the manga. Can't wait to check it out. So all right, the next one's gonna be Apocalypse Hotel. We got 7 episodes of that out right now. It's gonna be on Crunchyroll. And just letting y'all know, little summary. Following the collapse of civilization, one storied hotel stands among the ruins of Tokyo Genza's district. Overrun by nature, this lone hotel continues to defy humanity's collapse. Current guest 0. Check-in schedule today 0. Yesterday's website traffic 0. Enter with caution in the story of survival and mystery in a world where the memory of humanity begins to fade. And basically, you have this hotel. It's being run by robots in like a post-apocalyptic world where all the humans left and went to space because of like of uh, a virus or something that uh, run rampant and like was killing people, I guess, or something. I'm not sure. I forget. But what's so fun about this is like each week I literally have no idea what's going on or what's gonna happen or what I'm gonna see or who's gonna show up. Early on, like in the first episode or whatever, I think it was, uh, we have aliens showing up as guests, and it's just not like stereotypical aliens. It's different kind of aliens, which makes it fun. You know, we got some Tanukians, which is really cool. We got, I mean, it's just several different kinds. I don't want to get into too many spoilers or this early, but that's kind of where the show thrives at, is because it can be so wild and chaotic each week. It kind of reminds me of like the anime from last year, I think it was, Train to the End of the World. And if y'all watched that, like each week we didn't really know what we was gonna get. You know, it could have been like zombies. It could have been like uh, the little plastic toy soldiers, um, like very small people. Uh, could be mushroom people. Like that's all the stuff that happened in Train to the End of the World. It was like an original anime, and it had like each week it was different. It was a different step of the journey, showcasing like different areas and people inhabiting those areas. And this is kind of the same way. It's like this is an anime original too. So like they have the liberty to like do what they want, you know, and they're doing it, and they're doing it really well. Because you know they can bring anyone down to be a guest at this hotel or whatever, and it just keeps it like fresh. We don't know what to expect each week, and that's fun. You know, that's really fun. Like the characters definitely are what makes this stand out for me. Like you got a whole bunch of different robots. You got Yachio, and you got the doorman robot. You got like the flycatcher robot, and like a bunch of other different kind of like hotel robots or whatever. And then like the Tanukians come along, which is a different like alien breed of Tanukis, if y'all familiar with them. Um, and like that's when we get introduced to Ponko and her family, and like she changed the show. Like the show was good. Don't get me wrong, the show was good before she came along, but after Ponko showed up, the show got 100 times better, maybe more than that. Like it was peak, but now it's like 100 times peak. You know, because Ponko's like such a really cool character. Um, and another thing that stands out to me about this show is not only just the characters and like the premise and like the wild and chaotic uh events that we got going on and guests that we got happening. It's the animation. The same studio that brought you Horse Girls and like Brave Bang Bravern side games pictures, like they come back and done this show, and like they're flexing on us right now because like we already got uh a couple episodes this year of this show. Episode 6, for example, it was crazy. Like they went hard as hell. It's like one of the craziest. It's one of the best like animated episodes of spring. If you take like To Be Hero out of the picture, like this show is there. Like they're showing you that, no horse girls, no problem. They don't need that. They can animate and flex with this kind of show too, and they're doing it. So I'm really happy that Side Games got this. I'm really happy that they're really giving us a very quality animation. We've had several episodes already where I thought that it was 10 out of 10 episodes, like perfect episodes. We got Ponko and her chainsaw. We got Harmy showing up. We got like the Avengers or whatever in that episode. It was pretty fun. Like just like the freaking the pussy kangaroo line, like that shit's peak, bro. Like you can't tell me otherwise. Like it's just so fun. Even if you don't like slice of life stuff, you should still check this out. You should still watch this. It's got enough chaos to really keep almost anyone entertained. Like, for example, Dan's watching the show. Who would have thought Dan would watch like a slice of life show? Well, it's because it's like it's not really 100% slice of life. It's got that chaotic, fun energy into it. It's got just enough action to keep people like that entertained. So if Dan's watching it, if Dan's vouching for it, I'm pretty sure he said that this was like number one show of the season, and I agree. And if Dan's telling you this, and I'm telling you this, then you should definitely check it out. Like, this is peak shit, and you're missing out if you're not watching it. So I guess I should go ahead and get into the ratings since I've rambled on enough about Apocalypse Hotel so far. You already know it's 10 out of 10 already. Must watch. Like I said, best new anime of the spring season. Dan said that as well. If you're not watching this, you're missing out on peak. And I can't believe that we keep on getting like original animes that are this good. And I hope that trend continues because we got Trains Into the World. We got Girls Band Cry. We got Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night. We got Zenshu. And now we got this. And we got the freaking fishing one. Negative Positive Angler. Like we keep on getting really good original animes. And I love it. Like I really love it. And I hope this trend continues. I have no idea how this is like a mid-7 on Mal. But yeah, I can't wait to see what Ponko and everyone does next. I hope we get a second season of this. I know we're only halfway through, but I hope we get a second season. So it's gonna be too good. So I guess with that being said, let's move on to the next show we got. We got Witch Watch. This is gonna be about 7 episodes out right now. We got Crunchyroll and Netflix too. And basically a summary real quick. We got Moi, a high school student who comes from a lineage of ogres, enjoys a peaceful, ordinary life until his childhood friend Nico moves in with him. Nico is a witch in training and chooses Moi to be her familiar. While Nico is thrilled to reunite with her old friend and crush, Moi is tasked with the perilous duty to protect her from a foretold calamity. Between the unpredictable chaos caused by Nico's magic and the awkwardness of sharing a home, their lives become a whirlwind of supernatural hijinks and threats. This show's funny as hell. Just watching like the daily adventures of Nico and her babysitters is just so great. One of the things that I really enjoy seeing is like the repercussions of her using some of her spells. Like that's funny as hell. Like the cloning spell, like it turned her into miniature hers, and the more clones she makes, the smaller she got. That was just peak, bro. We also got one where it turned her into paper or whatever. Like she doesn't really think before she uses her magic, I guess, about like the consequences of after, or the consequences of what she's using it for or whatever. I kind of hope that we see more of that type of comedy, because the last few weeks we've not really gotten much of it. It was kind of heavy in the first half or the first little bit, and now it's kind of just fell off or whatever. So far there's only been like one episode where I didn't think it hit as hard. But this is the type of the show that can get repetitive if it's not careful. And I don't think it has yet, but I'm kind of worried about it doing that because it is a 2-hour show. And it could go either way. Like it could take on a more serious tone, especially since this threat is looming or whatever. But I think that it's still gonna be like a comedy at the end of the day. And we could see like romance aspects too. I just don't know what route it's gonna go, but I just hope that it stays funny for the whole 20 some episodes, which is my biggest worry about this. If it does end up getting kind of repetitive, I think this is one of those shows that I could like just put it on hold instead of dropping it and just come back to it like at a later date and just keep on watching it or finish it up or whatever. And I think that it would be pretty good then. So I guess we'll see. I'll see what happens. OP is really fun. It's probably one of the better OPs of the season. It helps that Ishitani Megumi directed it. If y'all are One Piece fans, y'all probably know who she is. She's directed some big episodes in the One Piece fan letter. I'm a big fan of her. I hope she keeps getting more and more of her name out there into different shows besides One Piece, because she done one hell of a job with this one. So I got this one sitting at an 8 right now. It's a really fun show. It's got funny characters. Just seeing Nico and Moi and like I don't even remember his name, the other dude, just babysitting Nico. It's really fun to see that. They just get themselves into trouble so many times. Ain't no way I could do it. So shout out to them for, keeping her alive for this long, I guess. Like I said, I just hope it doesn't get repetitive. So, and I'd say like 8 is probably like the ceiling for me. I don't see this going up to a 9, unless it just like goes unless it just has like a crazy twist or goes in an unexpected way, or even like becomes maybe a romance, like more of the romance or whatever, which I don't think it's going to, but be cool if it did. I guess that's all for Witch Watch. Let's move on to the next show, and that is To Be Hero X. And it's got about 7 episodes out right now too. It's on Crunchyroll, and basically the summary is: this is a world where heroes are created by people's trust, and the hero who gains the most trust is known as X. In this world, people's trust can be quantified through data, and these values are reflected on everyone's wrist. As long as one gains enough trust points, an ordinary person can possess superpowers and become a superhero who saves the world. However, the constantly changing trust values make the path of a hero full of uncertainties. I didn't really know a whole lot about this going into this show, but I looked into it obviously after like the first week or so, and apparently like the Link Click creator, Andy, which is also the director, is also the creator and director of this too. So I was pretty excited when I read that, because you already know, like, if you've seen Link Click, you know that it's a banger. I was pretty hyped about that. I figured that this would be a must watch of the season just based off that information. But then you look at the other stuff, like voice actors, and you look at like the Japanese voice acting cast, and it's got a lot of like really good voice actors, including Mamoru Miyano, which of course we haven't seen his character yet, but like it's gonna be good when we do. We already know, and the one characters that we've already seen so far, like, has been bangers. Like, they've done a really good job. And like I was saying during the Apocalypse Hotel rundown, this is probably the best animated show of the spring. Honestly, like it does such a great job of like it's got like the CGI to 3D CGI, but it also does the regular animation style too. They blend it pretty well. It's going to be interesting to see if they keep up this kind of quality throughout the whole two cowers, because like they've went really hard so far. I think they've already done like three or four different fights that just was crazy, bro. Uh, just we just watched one this last week or whatever. It went insane. Like they got to be pumping money into this like crazy, and so shout out to them. Hopefully they can keep it up because they're doing a really good job. Um, but also like the the perspective changes, like changing characters every few episodes or whatever. Like that's pretty cool too. Each one has been pretty good so far. It's like when the show does that, you worry that you won't connect with the characters because you're gonna get to see them so many times or whatever. But I don't have this issue with this show because like they do such a good job at you know, telling us all about their story and making us believe them, or you know, believe in them and all that stuff. So it's definitely been very good so far, even though we've only gotten to see two perspective changes so far. I think we're about to go into our third perspective change. Like the summary said, it's basically like a superhero story, but the ideals of trust value is power equals power. It's pretty interesting because we don't really, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in anime. Uh, I'm not exactly sure like what the end game is for this season in particular, but also like I know it's in great hands because like Link Click creator, you know, like they're not gonna let me down. Hopefully, this is definitely a must watch. Standout spring show. Like I said, it's already had like two or three fights that you know could be fight of the year contenders. You know, if this wasn't a Chinese anime or whatever. And we still got like a second cower to go, and we still don't know uh like what direction this is going in or whatever. Obviously it's to be Hero X. You could assume that everyone, all the heroes that we're watching perspectives of, like they're trying to become Hero X, which is like the most popular hero or whatever. Um, and so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that fight to the top. Do we come back and check in on the people we've already seen, or you know, is there like a big battle at the end, or like you know, I don't know where it's going. So this show has done a really good job giving us like really good twists, like cliffhanger twist or whatever. Like the first episode it did it to us, then they did it again to us like on the third episode or whatever, like and it did it again, you know, just recently. Like it keeps on giving us these like, oh shit, you know, twists, and I really haven't seen any of them coming. And like, I know that that can get like boring or like repetitive, or you know, people don't like that after a certain amount of times. But you know, in my opinion, they can keep them coming because like I haven't expected any of them, and it like keeps me on my toes. It like it's one of the things I liked about Game of Thrones, for example. I just didn't know what they was gonna do, because anything was possible. Any character, uh, what wasn't off limits. Like there's no plot armor or whatever. Anything can happen, and I like that when the show does that. So, um, just getting my ratings real quick. To finish this show up, I'm gonna give it a right now. I got it at a 9, and if it wasn't for Apocalypse Hotel, this would be my number one new show of the spring, and you know it'll probably end up being a 10 by the time it's all said and done. But it's two cowers, as we know. and we're not even, we're only halfway done with the first cower right now. So I kind of need to see like where where it goes and like how it ends before I can give it that 10, and or even keep it at a 9. It might go down, it might go downhill. I just don't know. There's too many episodes out there to go either direction. So, but honestly, I think almost anyone would enjoy this just because like it's pretty good at telling its story while keeping you hooked with like the insane fights that it has going happening. And like I said, one of the best animations of the spring. More people absolutely needs to be watching this. Uh, y'all gotta watch it. Y'all gotta check it out. This and Apocalypse Hotel, hands down, y'all gotta check it out. All right. The next show we got that we're gonna be talking about is Once Upon a Witch's Death. There's 7 episodes of this out at the time of recording. It's on Crunchyroll. Just a quick summary. On Meg's 17th birthday, she learns that she only has 1 year left to live. Her mentor, the Eternal Witch, Faust, explains that she is cursed and the only way to save herself is to grow a seed of life using 1,000 tears of joy. Of course, such tears aren't easy to come by. So as Meg begins her quest, she finds herself drawn into the lives of her friends, neighbors, and other people in ways she's never imagined. By sharing their burdens and using her magic to comfort them, she learns how precious those moments of connection can be, even in the face of death. And this is one of my faves of the season too. Uh, and I honestly didn't think it would be. Like, I looked at the summary of this, I was like, okay, this is gonna be like a 6, maybe a 7 if it's pretty interesting or whatever. And I was like, who knows if I'll even finish it. But honestly, like it's one of my top shows of the spring. And there's a couple of reasons why, okay? We got a very fun female lead. We got Meg Raspberry or Sue Berry, I think is what she's called sometimes. But she's wild. Like she's very chaotic. She's fun. She's outgoing. But she's like the prime. She's like the staple that holds the show together, and it's it's a it's a funny show. Um, just because like she makes it a funny show, but it's also a very serious show too because like it talks about uh some pretty serious and emotional moments and like scenarios in this show that she has to help these people with in order to, try to get her seat of life or whatever. She deals with a lot of different scenarios that are kind of serious, but she, what happens is like she brings balance to the show. You got all these, sad and heartbreaking moments or whatever, but she offsets it and she brings like the chaos and the funny, like the humor to the show. And I really enjoy that. Um like a lot of these stuff, even though it's kind of sad, it's not really supposed to be end up being sad. It's just supposed to end up being emotional because it's emotional storytelling. Everything ends up turning out as good as it can be because like she's working to get, tears of joy, and joy only comes from, the tears of joy only comes from people who are happy at the end of the day. So this is a really fun show, even though I've cried several times. Shout out to Meg for being such a good witch. And I don't really know what's gonna happen, uh, like in game, because as of right now, like there's no way that she collects a thousand tears or whatever. There's no way she's gonna collect that many. So I'm kind of curious, like, how she's gonna be able to not die or whatever, not succumb to the curse. So maybe she finds another way. I don't know. Maybe she gets help. I'm not sure. A lot of fun. A lot of fun moments in this. A lot of good uh lessons, I guess, in this too. But as of right now, I got it setting at an 8. Like I said, definitely a very solid witch slice of life. If you're into that sort of thing, I definitely say check it out. But if you're anything like me, you're probably gonna cry. So just a heads up. I do think that it's worth it though. All right, we got a ninja and assassin under one roof, and right now we got 6 episodes of it out. It's on Crunchyroll. And a quick summary is: on the way home from school one day, Konoha rescues Sadako, a ninja who escaped her village. Soon, pursuers from the village show up in search of Sadako, only to be deftly dealt with by Konoha. As it turns out, the unassuming high schooler is actually an assassin. Thus, the potentially cutthroat cohabitation of a ninja and an assassin begins. Like Studio Shaft, I just want to say, first of all, Studio Shaft, y'all know that they usually put out pretty good bangers, and they're absolutely killing this shit. Like it looks so beautiful. But what makes this show so good is like the humor and like the interactions between Sadako and Konoha, especially Sadako. She literally she makes the show for me. Like I love her character, the ninja. She's just so fun. What's kind of crazy is like they go super hard on the assassins, right? They're trying to kill Sadako or kill whoever, and they go really hard, like Studio Shaft does, like trying to make them look deadly and like just them attacking and stuff. Like it's really impressive. And then you just have Konoha. She just comes in and just stabs them and kills them in like half a second. Like you don't even get to see like anything. It's just like, oh, they're dead, you know. And it's kind of played as a joke, honestly. For the like most of the time, it's played like as a joke, like a running joke, and it works for me. Like I feel like some people probably won't enjoy that. They would want to, they would probably want to see like an actual fight, but I like it. I think that's funny. For whatever reason. Like it feels like this show. It kind of feels like a rinse and repeat of like the same stuff but different assassins. Like the show is more about the showing the relationship of the characters changing. It's just trying to find it's just trying to put like the comedy aspect in to everything it does. One of my most favorite like scenarios or episodes, whatever you want to call it, is when Sadako, she had her she was replaced or whatever by the Sadako robot, and Konoha, she literally wasn't able to like differentiate that it was a robot and not Sadako, the real person. And that's like just peak to me. That's hilarious. Uh, like I really hope that we keep on getting more of this. It's so funny. Uh, I think this is like the honestly probably like the funniest show to me of the season. I know Witch Watch is like really funny, but this is usually funnier than Witch Watch. It's just so good, man. I think everyone should at least check this out. I got it rated as like I got it setting at like an 8 right now. I think it could go higher. Uh, I don't really think it can go lower than an 8 just because like I like what it's doing. A lot. But I know it's gonna be hit or miss on whether most people are gonna enjoy this or not because like it banks on people liking the style of humor that's in this. And you know, I know a lot of people are probably gonna come into this and they're gonna think, "Oh, this will probably have like a lot of action in it." Well, it does have some, but like, it's not what it's about. Um, it's more about like the characters and like their developing relationship and like the interactions between each other and like the humor or whatever. As far as what I've seen so far. So, but yeah, 8 out of 10. I think everyone should check it out at least, just to see if the humor hits for y'all or not. See if y'all enjoy what you see. I'm definitely gonna keep on watching it. I love it. It's one of my favorites of the season as well. So moving on to the next show, we got Catch Me at the Ballpark. We got 8 episodes of this out, I think. Crunchyroll. It's on Crunchyroll. A quick summary. To escape his tiring job, Murata finds escape at a nearby baseball stadium. While the games are thrilling, it's Ruriko the Gyaru, as cold as the beer she serves, but secretly a sweetheart who keeps him coming back. As her first regular, Murata discovers the warmth behind her frosty demeanor, and their hilarious, heartwarming encounters light up the ballpark and maybe even their hearts. That's a pretty interesting synopsis, honestly. It makes it seem like there's going to be like a romance going on here. And I honestly didn't really get that vibe. I just it feels like it's more of like a teasing nature and not like a uh potential like relationship nature. But anyways, I like the show quite a bit too. I didn't think I would though, because I'm not a baseball fan. Never been a baseball fan. I'm more of a basketball and football fan. I was kind of iffy going into this because I was like, man, you know, what if I start watching this and like, I need to know more about baseball. Like, uh, I need to like baseball in order to like this. But you don't. Like, I've learned so far after watching 7 or whatever episodes, like, even though it's about a baseball stadium, like, you don't have to like baseball to enjoy this. Because I mean, even like I feel like that if you do like baseball, or you grew up going to a baseball stadium as like part of your family culture or whatever, uh, I feel like this would really hit home with you. But you don't have to have that. You just have to like slice of life, pretty much, because that's kind of what this is. Like, it's for me, it's fun seeing like all the stories that are attached to this baseball stadium. Like, how has the game of baseball and how has this baseball stadium changed so many people's lives, right? Why they keep going to the stadium? How they have so much fun at the stadium? Like, how this stadium and baseball fits into their life and their childhood. And we get like a lot of different stories about that, like feel good stories about like how they grew up, or like you know how baseball impacts their life, how going to the games impacts their lives, and all that stuff. But another thing is like there's a lot of fun characters in this. We get to see like from the perspectives of like Ruiko, a beer girl, a beer vendor. We get to see like other beer vendors. We get to see like the security people at the baseball games. We get to see like the fans at the baseball games. Murata, which is the salary man at the baseball games. We get to see like a lot of different like perspectives, and like how you know what they're going through in their life, and like what they went through in their life. But this is a lot of fun. It's just basically a slice of life about baseball and the people who work at the stadium, especially like the beer girls. Like I said, it honestly, even though I don't like baseball, like I said, it kind of makes me want to go to a baseball game in Japan, just to experience this kind of family, I guess you could say. I just feel like it would be a fun time. Um, I have it rated as an 8 out of 10 right now. It's really fun. Definitely gonna keep watching it. I hope more baseball fans find this show. And like, even if you're not a baseball fan, like I said, if you like slice of life like me, you'll love this show regardless. If you don't even have to like baseball, it's fine. You're gonna like this show. So definitely give it a watch. That's it for Catch Me at the Ballpark. Now we're gonna move on to the beginning after the end. This is 7 episodes on Crunchyroll as well. Just a quick summary. Um, After a mysterious death, King Gray is reborn as Arthur Lewin on the magical continent of Dekothvin, whatever the hell, it doesn't matter. Although he enters his second life as a baby, his previous wisdom and memory remains. He begins to master magic and forge his own path as the years go by, seeking to correct the mistakes of his past life. And honestly, I really like this isekai premise a lot because it's like the male, the main character, they used to be the most powerful king and sort of was emotionless and cold hearted and stuff like that. Now he's a baby. He's reborn as a baby and he has a family and he's basically a nobody. So he's kind of learning how all that feels. And he's having to adjust like his way of thinking too. Because he isn't a king anymore. Like he's just like he's a commoner now. He's nobody. So that's pretty cool to see like the mentality change and like the how he adjusts, you know. Sure, like with all these types of it's like this kind of isekai, like the character is usually gonna be OP, like overpowered as hell. We all know that. But so far it's been pretty interesting to see him like feel all these new feelings, like experience like the other side of the fence. The only thing that I see as of right now that's kind of like a negative, is it kind of sucks that it didn't get like a decent studio, I guess, because I think that killed like a lot of the hype with the show. Um, like this is a really popular manhwa or whatever I think it is. By Turtle Me, I think the name of the creator is, and it's kind of like a huge fan base. I think on Mao it's like rated at like a 6 or like a 5 or something like that because like it got shit on. Like people seen like the trailer and then they got worried, and then they seen like the episodes. They started seeing like the episodes and it wasn't good. Um, like the animation's not bad. Like the general animation, it's not bad. It actually looks pretty good. Like the character style and the art style and stuff like that. It looks pretty good. Where it goes down the drain at, where it falls apart at, is when they actually do fighting scenes, or anytime there's like a lot of movement to be animated. Like it just goes down the drain. Like they love early on. They love doing like the still pictures with like the screen effects, like the screen shaking or like the wind lines or whatever, or like the reaction shots, or after you swing a sword, like you're attacking with sword and you get them like in the attack pose, and then you get them like after they've already made their attack and they're just standing there or whatever. Like that's the kind of like shit that this show gives you, the studio gives you when it starts having to animate moving, and it's bad. It's usually bad when that happens. And the thing is like I truly believe, since isekai is so popular, if this got a decent studio, this would be like one of the most hyped shows of spring right now. And I think that it would be, you know, top of the charts almost every time, just because it's isekai and because it's got a huge fan base. But they just done it shitty by giving it not good studio. Even though they don't have the best studio and they didn't have like the best animation early on. I think that the complaints, um, like all the complaining and people, you know, all the people got back to them or something, because like the last few episodes that I've watched, they've actually been kind of better than it was before, and I'm not saying it's perfect now, but I think that you can truly tell there's a difference now, the last couple episodes, in quality, especially like moving quality. Like we seen like the waterfall or whatever. That was pretty cool. It was really detailed and stuff. Like it's starting to get better, I feel like. So maybe they'll keep on they'll keep on with that quality and keep on with like getting better as the season goes on. This is 2 hours too. So maybe they just like was saving their budget for mid to late game. I don't know, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Like I had this at like a 5 or 6, and I bumped it up to 7 right now, just because I like it. I like the premise. Like I like this sort of isekai, and the only thing that was holding it back was like the animation, honestly. And so if you like isekais or uh in general, or like if you like specific isekais like Mushko Tensei or Ascendance of a Bookworm or stuff like that, then you'll probably enjoy this. It's like really, really similar to Mushko Tensei, except, bitch ass Rudy ain't the main character. So, which already makes it way better in my eyes. Like, I know, like, I'm just one Rudy hater out there, in the world, and I know that a lot of people don't really care about Rudy in one way or the other. Some people like him, some people don't. I don't like him. I think he made, Mushiko Tensei is a very good show, but it's held down by Rudy. And if it didn't have Rudy in it, then it would be a phenomenal show. But here we are. We're stuck with that. So this actually gives me hope that it can kind of be like, I hope that it can like be a fraction of what Mushko Tensei could have been, um, just with a better main character. Um, and as of right now, like our main character for the beginning after the end, tbate, is pretty respectable. Like he's not done anything wrong yet. So hopefully it stays like that. If it doesn't, it's gonna be a shame. I'm definitely not gonna stick with it. As long as I did Mushko Tensei, if that happens. So fingers crossed. Please don't let me down. All right, so that's gonna be it for tbate, the beginning after the end. I guess we'll move on to our last few new shows, and then we'll see about getting into some of the sequels. Just do a brief touch up on some of the sequels after that. All right, now we'll move on to Lazarus, which has got about 7 episodes out right now at the time of recording, and it's going to be on Max and Adult Swim. A quick summary for y'all. The year is 2052. An era of unprecedented peace and prosperity prevails across the globe. The reason for this, mankind has been freed from sickness and pain. Nobel Prize winning neuroscientist Dr. Skinner has developed a miracle cure-all drug with no apparent drawbacks called Hopna. Hopna soon becomes really common and essential. However, soon after Hopna is officially introduced, Dr. Skinner vanishes. 3 years later, the world has moved on, but Dr. Skinner has returned, this time as a harbinger of doom. Skinner announces that Hopna has a short half-life. Everyone who has taken it will die approximately 3 years later. Death is coming for the sinful world and coming soon. As a response to this threat, a special task force of 5 agents are gathered from across the world to save humanity from Skinner's plan. This group is called Lazarus. Can they find Skinner and develop a vaccine before time runs out? That's pretty much the premise of this show. And, I'm enjoying Lazarus not because of the plot, that plot really. That's been kind of whatever. I think it's okay. But I don't really care for it too much, the way that they're handling it, I guess. But the characters, like, they're really fun. It's got like a lot of parkour and hand to hand fights though. I wish they kind of would have went a different route. Like I would have loved this show if it was like episodic, right? And like they was just completing missions and shit like that. Kind of like what Black Lagoon or like Cowboy Bebop does, you know, that type shit. Because like the premise that I read in the summary with Skinner and Hopna, it's whatever, you know. It's actually pretty interesting, but like every week it seems like they find a clue about Skinner and finding the vaccine or whatever, and like they investigate it and they end up with nothing. Like they're at a dead end every week, it seems like. And then the next week it's just like rinse and repeat, like the same shit over again. Like going to investigate a place, do some parkour and shit, and we're left with no Skinner and, you know, just a tiny breadcrumb that leads me to a different dead end. We're watching this on the rundown. The fights are pretty much the only thing keeping it above the water for me. Uh, it doesn't help that the dubbed isn't the greatest either. And Adult Swim, you know, they chose to not release the sub weekly, which is kind of shitty. But it is what it is. So now I have to sell the C's to just watch the sub, you know, unfortunately, since I'm watching it weekly. As of right now, I got this at a 7. I just don't think it's going to get any higher either. Um, if you like Bebop or John Wick type shit, good fights and parkour, I think you'll enjoy this enough. Just don't expect the plot to be great because it's not. Maybe it'll cook though, you know, maybe it'll be one of those things, you know, that they get us in the second half. We'll just have to wait and see. So I guess we'll move on to the next show. And that's gonna be Two Perfect Saint, tossed aside by my fiance and sold to another kingdom. This has 7 or 8 episodes out right now. It's on Crunchyroll as well. Let me get into a quick summary real quick. We got Philia's family has produced saints for generations. It's no surprise that she's known as the greatest saint of all time and set to marry the second prince, Julius. What no one expects is for Julius to call off the engagement, claiming that Philia's perfection makes her charmless and unlikable. To add insult to injury, Philia is packed off to a neighboring country in exchange for gold and resources, forcing her to leave her homeland. Despite bracing herself for mistreatment, Philia instead finds a warm welcome in her new town, where she puts her saintly abilities to good use, erecting barriers against monsters and curing epidemics. But even as she flourishes in her new life, her homeland is under a threat of destruction. And this is the type of show I love too. It's not meant to be a top tier quality show, but I love watching the overworked, underappreciated characters get out of their bad situations and get treated better. It's like it's like My Happy Marriage type shit, and I love that kind of shit. And I love seeing like their journey of healing and how much like the other party misses them after they realize what what they had before, you know, they got rid of them or let them go, and how bad they treated them. And look at them now, you know, they're even in worse shape now. So in Saint Philia, she's such a great female lead, and I'm cheering for her so much. And I like that her sister is a really cool character too. And I've been enjoying the route it's been going the last few weeks as well. I ain't gonna get into any spoilers, but a lot of people probably won't watch this, and you know, some people that watch it, you know, after maybe listening to this or before this or whatever, they'll think it's boring. But you know, it's fine. It's what it is. Because I love it. I got it at a 7 right now, and honestly, it could very easily end up being an 8 too. It's not a must watch for anyone, I would say, but it's legit a solid show. It's like my type of show, so definitely check it out if you're into that type of stuff. All right, that's all of the new shows that we got that I'm gonna talk about. Now we're gonna get into some of my sequels, and I'm not gonna get like too deep into them. I'm just gonna talk about them just a little bit. The first sequel that we got that I'm gonna talk about is My Hero Academia Vigilantes or Illegals, whichever one. It's got about 7 episodes out as well. It's on Crunchyroll, and I'll give you a brief summary real quick. Uh, Koichi is a dual college student who aspires to be a hero, but has given up on his dream. Although 80% of the world's population has superhuman powers called quirks, few are chosen to become heroes and protect people. Everything changes for Koichi when he and Popstep are saved by the vigilante Knuckle Duster and gets recruited to become vigilantes themselves. If you couldn't tell, this is a spinoff from My Hero Academia, and it happens around early My Hero times, and I've been really enjoying it a lot because it's a change of pace seeing like the vigilantes perspective, since being one is actually illegal. Plus, like we kind of get to see some cameos like of our favorite heroes. Like we've seen Eraserhead, we've seen Ingenium, some big time heroes, and we see it through the eyes of like not as famous people, like the vigilantes, like Koichi, Popstep, um, they're like they're just a step above normal people. They are normal people, but you know they're just a little bit above them, and so we get to see these heroes through their eyes, and that's pretty cool. Um, we even get to see like some villains that we know, like Stain, Hero Killer Stain. And it honestly adds more info to the story, uh, like about the origin of Stain, and even like the origin of vigilantes, and like how heroes came to be too, and like even where heroes and like where it all began at, like where it all started at. But yeah, I think the characters are pretty fun. Knuckle Duster and a Crawler, they're pretty cool. Or the Cruller, whatever you want to say. They're pretty cool. But me personally, y'all already know, I'm a big Pop Step fan. But other than that, like, it's definitely a solid 8. I like it, and I honestly might like it more than I did like OG My Hero. I hope we get more seasons of this. Not sure how many volumes of the manga is out now, but I hope there's enough to keep this going because I really enjoy it so far. So I guess to move on to the next sequel, Uma Musume, Cinderella Gray. Um, there's 7 or 8 episodes of this out. It's on Prime. I've only watched about 5 of them. I'm behind, mostly because it's on Prime. I always forget about it, even though I love the show so much. I'll give y'all a little summary real quick. Cinderella Gray tells the tale of a lone girl in a destitute countryside of Kasamatsu who will soon rock Japan with her feet. This Cinderella story of youthful drama and running begins at a humble starting gate. that's that's a pretty interesting summary. I like it. But yeah, uh, keep it simple. Horse Girls going hard again. That's all I got to say pretty much. I haven't watched all of the Horse Girl stuff. Only season 1, which was all right. But this spinoff has been crazy. Like Ogre Cap is such a fun Uma Musume, and she's all about business. She's out here kicking ass and taking names, and I absolutely love it. I got this sitting at an 8 right now. I hope to see more spin-offs like this in the future because like it's really fun when they give us these really cool uh horse girls that we can cheer for and stuff. So um the next thing we got is Windbreaker season 2. Uh and back when I was watching season 1, I always thought like, will I get bored of this? Because like they're just gonna be punching each other, right? Like kids are gonna be punching other kids, and that's all this show is gonna be, right? Well, I was wrong. Here I am halfway through season 2, and I'm still not tired of it yet. We're talking about this on the rundown every week, and like it's surprising, but punching isn't all that the show offers. And season 2 is really diving into that part of it. And it's embracing its slice of life side, and I absolutely love it. I just want to say though, like Tsubaki, uh, most of y'all that watch Windbreaker know about Tsubaki, and they're such a great character. Like I'm proud of Windbreaker for like being brave enough to tell Tsubaki's story, even though it is a delinquent fighting shonen. Uh, and that, in my opinion, like that's what makes Windbreaker such a great show, because it's able to switch from being a punching delinquent anime and switch to a slice of life and doing slice of life shit. And then sometimes they dive even deeper and dive into like the characters and what they're feeling. And that's peak, in my opinion. That's absolutely peak. And shout out to Windbreaker and this mangaka for like trying so hard to handle all these different topics so well in a delinquent shonen anime. And I know that like people are upset because they signed up for a boxing anime, but trust me, like there's more than one way to fight. There's not all fighting is fighting with your hands, and this show does a really good job of showing us that that is true, because sometimes it's about fighting you know that's up in your head. And Tsubaki's character is like a prime example of that. And I love that they're going that route. And I can't wait to see what else that they try to show us. So, shout out, shout out to Windbreaker for being unique, for being that brave. So this is definitely like a solid 8 for me. Uh, and depending on how many times Sakura blushes, uh, it could move up to a 9. I'm a simple man. I like Sakura blushing. I like when these boys talk about their feelings. I loved it. We got a freaking a staple code episode where you know we get in a sauce of life all the time where the character catches a cold and they're just sick and in bed or whatever, and I'm literally sick and shit. And I was telling the boys, I was like, I need the Windbreaker boys to show up and take care of me just like they took care of Sakura. I need that right now because I got the man code. So, but all I want to say is keep being unique, keep being great, Windbreaker. Just keep doing your things. I don't care what the haters say. Windbreaker's peak, especially season 2. Tsubaki is peak. I love that shit. Speaking of peak, let's move on to one of the peakest shows out there, and that is Apothecary Diaries season 2. Um, we only got like 6 or 7 episodes left of Apothecary Diaries season 2, and you already know, if you know me, I love Apothecary Diaries. I love Mao Mao. I love Shaolin, aka Gossip Girl. I love Shisui. I like Genji. I like a bunch of these characters. Like this is one of my favorite anime of all time. Nowadays, Mao Mao is probably she's probably my favorite female character, and she's one of my top characters overall as well. And we're getting to the part of the story where it's heating up a lot, and we just got one of those classic apothecary mysteries that it's unraveling right now in the last few weeks, and I never seen it coming. I ain't gonna lie, like I didn't see this shit coming. Once again, like Apothecary Diaries has fooled the shit out of me, and I was left with my jaw on the floor. Just like it did it to me several times in season 1, and here we go, it's doing it to me again. And like I said, we still got 6-7 episodes before we finish out the second season, so ain't no telling where it's gonna take us. But I'm here for the ride. I'm here for a long time, you know what I mean? Uh but if you haven't watched season 1 yet, you definitely need to. Now's a good time to start watching Peak. Um, you know, this is a 10 in my books. Uh, if I could give it higher than a 10, I would. Number one sequel of the season, number one anime of the season. Might as well just call it number one anime of the year for me. Must watch ASAP, absolute peak. I don't know what else I can say to make y'all believe that it's peak, but it is. It's peak. Mau Mau's peak. Trust in Mau Mau. But yeah, that's basically all the shows I'm caught up on as of right now. There's a few I left off that I'm watching, like Mono, Rock is a Lady's Modesty, and Dad's Journey. I'm hella behind on those, but I'm enjoying them a lot. And if you're a Slice of Life fan, you should definitely give Mono and Dad's Journey. Check it out. Give it a shot. If you like girls band type shit, Rock is a Lady's Modesty is really fun. It's on High Dive. But I hadn't watched enough of them. I've only watched 2 or 3 episodes of each, unfortunately, just because I've been on vacation and, I'm watching so many shows. Before I end this episode, just want to say if y'all don't have time to watch all these shows, at least put them on your plan to watch list. And I'll give y'all a quick rundown of like the top 3 must watch of the new spring shows to end this segment. That way y'all know what you need to watch right now. The first one's going to be Apocalypse Hotel. You already know. Like I said, it's my number 1 show of the season. Y'all got to watch this ASAP. Second show is To Be Hero X. Must watch too. And Shirley is the third one. If y'all watch anything on this list, watch those 3 shows. And of course, Apothecary Diaries, you already know. Y'all should be watching that already. And hell, I'll even throw One Piece in there because that's what Nam would do. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for bearing with me. I've been sick today. If you couldn't tell, I've had to take plenty of breaks while recording this episode. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to me yap about anime, ramble on about anime in the spring season 2025 for however long I did. And I guess I'll see you on Tuesday for the rundown with Nam. I have no idea if Dan's going to be there. But until then, linktree.com/anime Degens, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Peace.